Saturday, August 13, on the New South Wales Central Coast. And the cream of Australian and international rally teams are getting ready for the start of the fastest and most challenging rally ever held in this country, the 1983 Dunlop 2GO International. For the next 2 days, these drivers and navigators will be racing against the clock over 300 kilometres of twisting, slippery mountain roads. In just 4 years, the Dunlop 2GO has grown to become Australia's premier rally, and with a list of stars better than any Academy Award presentation, over 30,000 spectators are here to see the action. The rally is also round 3 of the Australian Championship, has drawn entries from right across the country, and for the first time in many years, Australian rally fans will get to see top international drivers from Japan and England. The Dunlop 2GO is based along the lines of European rallies, where most of the action is held in daylight. And the thousands of spectators through the Watagans mountains are about to see these crews pit their skills against the elements, driving the fastest and most powerful rally cars ever seen in Australia. Heading the international lineup are 2 of Japan's best, Noriyuki Hotta and current Japanese rally champion Masao Kamioka. Both will drive Mitsubishi Lancers to be navigated by fellow countrymen Ken Sakuma and Shuji Inada. But the real star is twice British rally champion Mad Malcolm Wilson. Together with New South Wales champion navigator Ray Stubbs, the 2WS Escort looks hard to beat. Jeff Portman, the current Australian rally champion and winner of last year's Dunlop 2GO, will start Car 1 in his new Nissan Bluebird. The most versatile driver in the field, with 3 Australian Rally Championships, a touring car title and Bathurst win behind him, is Colin Bond in his TR7 V8. Bond's car is fitted with a 4.4-litre alloy V8 engine developing over 300 horsepower. Everyone is confident that their car can finish Australia's fastest rally. But with champions like Greg Carr and his factory Fiat Abarth, 4 times ARC champ Ross Duncan in a Datsun Stanza, Bathurst winner Dick Johnson in his first ever rally, and local star Ian Hill, no one dared pick a winner.
This is Will Hagan at the microphone, and at 10:30 we'll be getting the first of the cars away.
The tension shows as drivers get their head into gear for the rally ahead. Flagged away by Mike Cleary, the Minister for Sport, Leisure and Tourism, the cars leave at 2-minute intervals on a transport section to the first competitive stage in the Arimba State Forest.
Guides in the souvenir program to see the action, and the first car is away.
The Dunlop 2GO International has always tested rally teams to the limit, but with 5 Australian rally champions, 3 Bathurst winners and 2 Japanese stars, the competition for twice British champion Malcolm Wilson was the best Australian rallying had seen for years. The rally was also a real test for Greg Carr.
The imports will obviously go very well. Malcolm Wilson's definitely no slouch. But we've got a little bit of a problem that we've got to not only try and win this rally, but we've got to also get points for the Australian Championship. And a lot will depend on how certain competitors go, like Ross Duncan and a couple of others who are ahead of us on the table. So we've got to look out for them as well as trying to win this rally. But there's good competition, so we'll have to see how it goes.
A good rally driver is one who can drive fast, but a brilliant driver has the skill necessary to manoeuvre a car along a winding mountain road at speeds better than 200 kilometres an hour, and the determination to go harder as the race gets faster. First through Special Stage 1 was Jeff Portman. Then twice British champion Malcolm Wilson. Bond was through in his TR7 V8. Doing well was Masao Kamioka in his Lancer. Victorian star Hugh Bell. Currently leading the Australian Rally Championship was Perth driver Ross Dunkerton in a Datsun Stanza. This was not to be Dunkerton's rally. Winner of the 1980 Dunlop 2GO was Wayne Bell, really flying in his Toyota. Another Perth driver, Clive Slater. Touring car star Bob Morris was having a guest drive in an Alpha Sud, running in the new Group A category for cars with minimal modifications allowed. Times at the end of Special Stage 1 showed that mad Malcolm Wilson had pulled 16 seconds off Jeff Portman to be now leading the event. But it was local star Ian Hill who caused the upset. Starting behind 22 national classified drivers, Hill and navigator Phil Bonza had put in a brilliant performance.
Yes, had a really good run in that first section. That's the only section we've done to date, but by my navigator's reckoning, we're only 12 seconds behind Malcolm Wilson on that stage.
Which would put you second out, right?
I believe we have beat every other car that's in front of us on that stage, yes.
Portman was only 4 seconds behind Hill's BDA Escort to be right in there with his new Nissan Bluebird.
We're hoping that we won't have any silly problems that usually associated with the first time out for a motor car. In the 2 days testing we had no problems at all, and we're quite confident that we'll be very rapid today.
The roads were slippery and muddy from a torrential downpour the day before, and claimed Ron Marks, who rolled his spectacular Renault 5 Turbo. Australia's Ford hero and Bathurst winner Dick Johnson was also out at the event when the Precinct Performance Escort broke an axle.
Well, actually we're in stage 3, heading down to the hairpin, and we got back in low gear to go up the hill, and there's a big rut there, and the thing leapt off the ground, and when it came back down it just snapped the left-hand axle. Well, at the moment we've had to dip out, and we're trying to locate an axle for it, but apparently it's some fancy thing. It must be out of a hole, probably.
The service brake, where notes are compared and mechanics work against the clock to keep their cars competitive. The word comes through that rally leader Malcolm Wilson has had a puncture.
Yes, we had this punched on Special Stage 5, 3 kilometres into the stage, and this was on the near side front wheel. We had to drive for 10 kilometres on it. We have lost a lot of time. I don't know exactly how much. And we've also had a little electrical problem on this last one. Portman
is third, quite happy in the new Nissan Bluebird, but 1981 winner Colin Bond has lost time.
We've made one mistake so far. We kept right at a fork instead of keeping left. It was just, John called it and I went the wrong way, and it just took me 30 seconds, I guess, to recover from that. But we're very happy the way the car's going, and I'm just starting to drive it properly, I feel. It's thumb down, head up, and hang on.
Still going, mate.
Japanese stars Kamioka and Hotta were surprising everyone in their Lancers to be both running in the top 12. Sunday morning, and only 51 of the original 80 starters faced the control officials. Missing were Bob Morris, whose Alpha Sud was destroyed by fire after a holed fuel tank. Victorian driver Hugh Bell rolled his Datsun at over 160 kilometres an hour. Peter Moore had blown his engine. Dunkerton was out, as were Mike Batten, Gary Burns, Jim Middleton and Carolyn O'Shannessy. Malcolm Wilson had stretched his lead over Ian Hill by nearly 3 minutes after putting in a brilliant performance over Watagan Road. 27 kilometres of high-speed crests and curves that really sorts the men from the boys.
Yes, we've had quite a good run over Watagans Road. I think we took well over a minute off Greg Carr. I think Jeff Portman's also got problems, but we took nearly 2 minutes off him. But that sort of stage really suits the Escort, and I did enjoy it very much, and up to press it's a very good event.
Portman was in trouble. The current rally champion retired his car before Sunday's division with a broken valve spring and damaged rings. Greg Carr was now third. The Fiat Abarth performing well on unsuitable tyres following his rollover in the second round of the Australian Rally Championship in Queensland only weeks before.
Well, the rollover's always on the cards. I mean, when you're going quick, you don't try and do it, but it doesn't take much to slip off the edge and tip over, but we'll certainly be trying to avoid it. But they fixed the car's absolutely perfect. They've worked like crazy on it in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Rallying was in a bit of a slump for a while, and this 2GO rally really has sort of picked rallying up in Australia. They had the Frenchman last year, Jean-Louis Leroux, and this year they've got, as you know, the 3 internationals. Next year, who knows? But it certainly is a good sign for Australian rallying.
Colin Bond was up to 4th in the new TR7 V8, although it was surprising just how quick Bond's former Works Escort BDAs were running at the head of the field in the hands of Wilson and Hill.
Well, you get a lot of throttle control, which is nice because I think
BDA, you just drive it flat out and steer it more or less, where these things you can actually point it in the right direction and then just feed the power in. The tyre wear, surprising, is a lot better, on this than what it would be on the BDA. Yet, I still love the BDA as a car, but, if you haven't got a BDA, this is not a bad second choice.
The Dunlop 2GO International Rally had not only captured the attention of over 30,000 spectators, but the media as well. 3 Sydney television stations, 7, 9 and 10, had actually poured money into the event, while the Rothman Special Events Centre provided a network of radio stations right around Australia with up-to-date reports. Sunday's first competitive section, Special Stage 13, was the famous Watagan Road, and the news that Australia's fastest rally road had claimed the Dunlop 2GO's major star.
It's like Bill at the end of the first day, competitive Watagans Road. Malcolm Wilson has failed to appear. He's failed to turn up, and it appears as though he's out of the event, and I'd say Ian Hill is now in the lead.
The driver, who had impressed Australian rally fans like no other international before him, was out. Ian Hill was now in the lead, but Greg Carr's Fiat was flying and claimed a string of 4 fastest times. Such was the strain on the cars that the Canberra driver's steering wheel came off in his hands, and Bond also had to tighten his steering column. Special Stage 16, and Carr was 4 seconds faster than Victoria's David Officer, after rally leader Ian Hill went off the road.
We've had a few little problems this morning, but nothing too bad, and as far as I know, we're still leading the rally.
And you've just broken the lap record again around the Jillaby Autocross circuit.
Yes, I think we've fixed them all up on that one again.
The sheer speed of the rally provided brilliant spectator entertainment, but drivers had never known a faster event. Another casualty was Gordon Levin, up to 9th place when he lost all steering with a broken tie rod. All it took was hitting a hole at the wrong angle, and car 19 was out of the rally. In the past, driver and navigator would have attempted emergency repairs, but the Dunlop 2GO International was so fast and competitive that the crew could never make up the 10 minutes lost. Japanese stars Kamioka and Sakuma were now in the top 10, but teammate Hotta had done a wall of death in his Lancer and had destroyed the car, making it a very sad weekend for patron Mike Bell and his bank manager. Despite the high casualty list, the pace of the rally is still spectacular. Kamioka was forced to stop with a loose throttle cable on the Curtis Yambo hairpin. It took only minutes to fix, but lost him a possible 4th place. Special Stage 19, and Bond shared fastest time with Ian Hill. The TR7 driver now locked into 3rd place, but it wasn't to last.
We just pressed a rise, flattened 4th gear and went back to 3rd around the corner, turned to accelerate and nothing happened. I thought I must have missed the gear. Tried for 3rd again, I was in 3rd and any other gear and there's no drive. So what must have happened, I think, is breaking the first measure shaft in the gearbox or something like that, because the car's going okay, it's just that it won't drive it anywhere.
The end of special stage 20, and local star Ian Hill has diff problems. The car is only driving on one wheel, and the rally which Hill has tried to win for the last 4 years is falling from his grasp. Greg Carr's Fiat has hit the front and stretched the lead to about 2 minutes, but again the pace was to claim another star. The Fiat's gearbox had constant mesh gear failure, and Carr was left with only 5th gear and in the middle of a transport section. 6 of the leading 10 cars have dropped out since Sunday morning. Coote, Officer and Wise were keen to get on with the action, and after 2 days of rallying, 4th to 7th places were separated by only 27 seconds. Hill is still in the lead in the X-Works Escort, but with a broken diff. He's slow to start the last 3 stages, and Murray Coote is closing at 30 seconds a stage. Kamioka and Sakuma. Only bad luck robbed them of a brilliant performance. Sydney's Ed Mulligan still clowning around in Bruce Garland's Escort.
Oh, we stopped on Watagans for a minute and a half. Total time, so... Just finished. Just get Japanese connection home.
Gosford's Ron Kremen, now 7th. The final stage, the Gillaby Autocross Circuit, and Perth's Clive Slater claims 5th spot by only 5 seconds from 4th placed Graham Wise and John Williams in a Datsun 1600. Victorian driver, Dinter Officer and navigator Kate Hobson drive into 3rd place in their Galant, 2 minutes ahead of Wise. Ahead of Officer, by only 38 seconds, was Queensland's Murray Coote and navigator Brian Marsden. And the winner, by only 22 seconds, Ian Hill and navigator Phil Bonza in the Escort BDA. It was the Gosford Privateer's first major rally win and the Dunlop 2GO's most popular.
Just can't believe it's happening. We couldn't fix the car, so we just had to take a chance and go for it. Well, you broke the Gillaby again today. You set fastest time yesterday, and you finished the day pretty good with a big win. And I guess tonight it's all champagne, is it? I'd say so, yeah. The presentation will be a great night.
Malcolm Wilson vowed to return next year. And while most of the rally crew shared a beer, Hill broke out the champagne. The Dunlop 2GO International, undoubtedly Australia's fastest and most competitive rally, and it was won by an unsponsored privateer driver.